Most of it was my mother's fault, to where she just didn't want to take the responsibility as a mother to accept the wrongs that was going on in my life.
So we talking about, sexual abuse?
Yes.
And so what was happening? First of all, what age did it start?
At the age of 8.
8? And so what was it that happened? I get that out here, you got to be in survival mode. You got to have your defenses up. You got to have your walls up. But if we could just take those walls down for a second, right? What effect do you think that this had on you up to this point in life?
It had a lot of effects on me. I didn't know how to be.
What's up, YouTube? Man, it looks like things are heating up for summer 23. So stay tapped in. Now back to the content. What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with another one. So we got a young lady with us today. How you doing today, miss?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's a beautiful day out here. Beautiful day. So are you homeless?
Yes.
Okay. And so how old are you?
I'm 32.
32. And so how long have you been homeless?
I've been homeless for 6 months.
6 months. And so what was it that happened 6 months ago that caused you to become homeless?
I had lost my apartment due to family not helping me.
Okay, so basically just financial.
Yes, sir.
Lost the apartment. And was that here in Atlanta or was that somewhere else?
Here in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, okay. All right, and so I see you got these 2 beautiful kids with you. How many kids, is this all your kids or do you have more?
I have more.
Okay, how many do you have?
6 altogether.
Okay. How old is the oldest?
15.
15? And so how old is this young lady right here?
4 months.
4 months, all right. Wow, so that the eviction or whatever happened while you were still pregnant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so same dad or different dads?
Same father.
So same father, all 6?
Yes.
Okay. And so where's he at right now?
Right now he is in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. Is he like on a government sponsored vacation? Or is
he's working. He drives 18 wheelers.
Okay, so he's 18 wheelers. Okay, I got you. Alrighty. And so are you guys married?
Not legally, but we've been
I get it.
You've
been together for a long time, like married.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Okay, so as far as it goes, right? So he drives 18 wheelers. Does he know that, like, you guys are in the shelters and all like that, or?
Yes, he knows about me being in the shelter. It took me a minute to tell him that I was in the shelter because I was ashamed, but now he knows that I'm in the shelter.
And so are you guys like still together?
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
Okay, kind of a little bit.
Yes.
Means maybe a little bit not. It just all depends on what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. Okay, I know how that goes. All right, so let's just start from the beginning. So, where are you from?
I'm from New York City.
You from New York? What part of New York you from, man?
Harlem, Manhattan.
You from Harlem? Hey, man. My cousin lives in Harlem, man. Hey, shout out that Harlem, New York, man. Yes, sir. Shout it out. Shout the whole Big Apple out, man, all day long. All right, and so growing up in New York, did you have both mom and dad in the household?
No, I just had mother in the household.
Okay. As far as dad goes, was he like active and present in your life, or pretty much?
I haven't seen my father since I was 15. He lives in Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay, so he's Jamaican? Okay, you say you haven't seen him since you was 15? Okay. Up until 15, was he active and present, or was he, okay, so had you seen him up until you was 15, or was that the first time you ever saw him?
That was the first time I had ever seen him. I had my oldest daughter when I was 15 years old.
Did he come up to the States, or did you go down to Jamaica?
Oh, he came to the States to see.
Okay. And so what, like growing up, what effect do you think the absence of the dad had on your life?
He's a paranoid schizophrenia and bipolar. Come here. Hey, now, come here. Now.
Hold on, watch this. Sit down. Here, come on over here. Jesus. Come on over here. Yep, you're good. Come on, right here. No. I got you. Come here. I got you, little fella. All right. I got you. All right. So you're saying that your father has different mental
and he was
diagnosis?
addicted to drugs.
Okay,
bad.
so you had a lot of stuff going on. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have a sister that stays in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and I have 19 brothers on my father's side.
Oh, wow. He was getting busy. So for whatever issues he had, the ladies didn't mind. Right? Okay.
I'm the oldest out of all.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. Growing up, did you harbor any resentment towards your dad for his absence?
No.
No? Okay.
Because I believe in things happen in life and you have to forgive to be able to move on with life. So, no, I never held him accountable for that.
Okay. Okay. And so growing up, would you say that you had like a fairly normal childhood?
No.
Tell me about it.
I went through a lot of abuse by my mother and my stepfather's kinfolks. Some of it was my mother's fault, and some of it was, most of it was my mother's fault, to where she just didn't want to take the responsibility as a mother to accept the wrongs that was going on in my life.
So we talking about, sexual abuse?
Yes.
And so what was happening? First of all, what age did it start?
At the age of 8.
8? And so what was it that happened?
I was sexual from the age of 8 to the age of 13 by my stepfather.
By your stepfather? And so at what age did you tell your mom that it was happening?
My mother knew from the age of 8 all the way up. She just didn't never want to face the fact that her husband at the time was molesting me.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel low. It made me feel like crap. It made me feel like nobody loved me at the time. So it took for me to have my oldest child at the age of 15. Well, I got pregnant with her when I was 15, had her when I was 16. It took for me to have my first child for me to actually feel love. And then after that, I had another child when I was 17. I lost him when I was 18 on my 18th birthday. And I went through a depression to the part to where I felt like life had gave up on me. I didn't want no more children. I got with the guy I'm with now when I was 18, about to be 19. Me and him have been together 15 years, and now we got 4 beautiful kids together.
Okay, so 4 of the kids biologically are his, and 2 of them are 2 other guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other guys, are they active and present in their kids' lives?
No, my oldest son's father is in prison for murdering his uncle, and my oldest daughter's father, I haven't heard or talked to him since I was pregnant with my oldest child.
Okay. The first dad, the one that you got pregnant at 15, are you guys around the same age, or is he a little bit older than you?
He was younger than me.
He was younger than you?
A year younger
wow. Okay. So you guys are just 2 young kids kind of doing your thing out there.
Well, actually, I was babysitting his nephew, and it went from babysitting to me
making babies. You say, oh, this looks fun. Let me do it for free for 18 years. No, just messing with you. Just bring a little light to the situation. But so with that happening to you at such a young age, what age did you lose your virginity consent, like with your consent?
At the age of 17. Come here.
Well, 17.
Is when I knew that I wanted to consently have sex with someone.
So what happened at 15?
At 15, it wasn't supposed to have happened. I had already been experienced because of me being molested by my stepfather. So I felt like I needed to reach out to try to find somebody to love me. But at the time, I was still young. I didn't know nothing about love. So.
Well, I mean, but did he take it from you, or did you give it? So he took it from you. So it was basically like an R word.
Yeah.
Wow. And I guess at that point, it was just something that you was kind of used to. It was probably, somewhat felt like, I ain't gonna say normal, but it was what you had experienced already before.
Right.
And so did that happen with both of the first 2 kids, or just
the oldest one?
Okay. Wow. Huh. Okay. Is your mom still living?
Yes.
She's still living? Does she know that you're in this position in life right now?
Yes.
Yes. Have you guys ever talked about the stuff that happened to you when you was younger? What are those discussions like?
We don't have a normal conversation. We argue all the time. So it's not no normal conversation.
Does she acknowledge that stuff happened to you when you was younger?
Yes, but she don't want to look at the fact that it's her fault that it had happened to me and it wasn't my fault. Stop.
Is she still with your stepdad?
No, my stepfather had died back in 2020. He died of diabetes, but he suffered from what he had done to me all the way up till God had called him home. Because in the process of him having diabetes, he lost both of his legs from diabetic. And when I found out he had died, it hurt me because I grew up knowing him as my father. But then I had to stop and I had to realize, why are you crying over spilled milk, over somebody that done harmed you in the type of way that a father should never harm a child in?
How I mean, from 8 to 13, that's a lot of years. How often was this happening? Was this like every now and again, or was it like every day type deal?
It was every day.
It was every day? How? Like, because I'm trying to think, like, okay, you had a sister and, you know, your mom was in the house. And
I was more like my mom, so it was like he knew that, he felt in his head and in his mind, obviously, that since I was more like my mom and I was more mature than my sister, then he could do it to me instead of my sister. My sister was more of a mother's girl. She never really was into daddy like that. I was more into, I was a daddy's girl. I always been a father's girl. Like, you can't say nothing about my dad that, like, won't get, like, you could talk about him, but saying something negative, no. I was always the one that be hyped. Like, okay, you talking about my daddy, like, okay, I'm ready to fight. Like, that hurt me a lot.
And that was even after he was doing that stuff?
Yeah.
Did you know that it was wrong when he was doing it, or did it take you a while to understand?
It took me a long time to understand because I never had the conversation with my mother about sex or the different body parts that women and men have. So it took me a long time until I actually started realizing, like, that's not something that a father should be doing to a daughter or a stepchild, period. You're not supposed to sexual harass, you're not supposed to touch different body parts on a female or on a child, period. But now that I'm grown, I start to realize he knew what he was doing wrong, but he thought it was okay because it never got explained out to the family. I never went to his mother or his father to let them know that they had a sick child. Because I didn't want to tear the family apart. I didn't want them to think that by me knowing that he wasn't my biological father, that they felt like I was trying to down him or disrespect him or their family.
Do you think that he ever did that to anybody else?
Yes, I had been told by his ex-wife, not my mom, but he had married again. They had a little girl, and his ex-wife had told me that at first she thought that I was just making it up until she walked in the house and she caught him molesting his own biological child. So, yeah, it happened more than one time.
And so, right now, I get that out here, you got to be in survival mode. You got to have your defenses up. You got to have your walls up. But if we could just take those walls down for a second, right? What effect do you think that this had on you up to this point in life?
It had a lot of effects on me. I didn't know how to be self-loved. I didn't know how to love myself. I always had low self-esteem. I always had negativity thoughts of myself because I felt like it was my fault instead of his fault. I had a lot of thoughts that came across on that end that I can't even really explain right now. Hey, Sus, come here.
Did you like it? You know, go to high school, graduate?
I went to high school. I dropped out after my second child had deceased.
Yeah, you said you went into a real dark place after that.
Yeah, I dropped out in the 11th grade. Other than that, I had to find myself because I went through that loss by myself. My mother wasn't there to help me, and my sister wasn't there to help me.
What do you mean they weren't there?
I didn't have no support to help me.
If I asked them why weren't they more supportive during that time, what do you think they're...
My sister was working, so I could kind of understand. She was, come here, now. She was working, and she was a mother at the time, too. My mom, she picked men over her daughters and over her grandchildren, so that's why she wasn't there. But if I was to ask her now about it, she'd be like, oh, I wish I was there to help you and there to support you, but it's not no time to go back. You can't go back in time on something that already done happened.
Okay. I'm always, curious. And I don't always know how to ask this question the proper way, but because I've heard different answers, I'm gonna ask it, right? And because it went on for 5 years, was it something that at any point do you think that he misconstrued or thought that you enjoyed it? Yep. Why would he have thought that?
Because at the time he used to always treat me, so he'd be like, come on, let's go, and I'd be like, but I don't want to go. And I used to get abused if I didn't want to go. I used to get hit and stuff, like if I didn't want to go with him. But then I would still go with him to because he had owned a body shop in Missouri, and I used to go just so I could get away from the house. But then I started catching on more as the more I went, the more it was going on. The less that I went, the less it wouldn't happen. So I had to tell myself, like, there's got to be a way that you could break away from this. So I used to tell him all the time that I didn't feel good, just so I wouldn't have to get forced to go with him to his job, to where I wouldn't have to worry about being touched at that time.
And so, we had kids and things like that, and we've been having kids with this guy that, we're kind of in this long-term relationship with. Does he have a house and everything else? Does he have a place where he lays his head at night?
Yes.
And what is that in Georgia?
No.
Where's it at?
He's right now stationed in Detroit. He's been stationed in Detroit for a while. He's trying to get a way to coming out here. Even if it takes him to losing his job to being a part of his children's life, then that's what he'll do.
Well, why can't you guys go up to Detroit?
Detroit, I think it's too dangerous for me to take my kids right now with their ages.
Hold on. Hey, little fella, come on over here. Come on. Hey.
Get in that stroller then. Get in the stroller. Sit down. Here.
There you go.
He's sleeping.
That's all that is.
Stay sitting down. Oh, stay sitting down.
So, listen, I get it. I spend a lot of time up in Detroit. And shout out to my roommates in college were both from Detroit, man. So, I've been going back and forth to Detroit for a long time. It definitely is dangerous. It used to be more dangerous than what it is now. It's kind of becoming a little more safer, especially in the inner city. But
I've never been to Detroit before, so I'm kind of like the type of person that want to go somewhere that I feel safe at. If I don't feel like I'm safe, then I wouldn't even take the chance of taking my kids somewhere that I don't feel that's safe.
Well, right, but I mean, if you've never been there before, then, how can you say that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because then the family would be together and everything else. Like, why would y'all have him quit his job, so
he wants to quit his job to come out here. I told him he don't have to.
You say he drives trucks, right?
Yep.
He drives trucks anywhere.
I told him he don't have to, but sometime this month he's supposed to be coming out here anyway. He's supposed to be going towards Alpharetta, Georgia.
Alpharetta, okay.
So he'll be somewhere in Georgia area, and when he comes, I think I'm gonna leave with him just to see how I like it.
Well, Alpharetta, that's 30, it's 20 minutes from here. That's Metro Atlanta, basically. That's not like another town or anything like that?
I don't know, because I'm not from
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, Alpharetta is, you know, Alpharetta is basically Metro Atlanta. And I guess I'm just asking because it's like, you know, so for instance, where are they at, the other 4 kids?
My other 3 kids.
Yeah, your other 3 kids, I'm sorry.
My 2 oldest girls, they're out of town with my mother, and then I have my 4-year-old with my in-laws, my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law.
His mom and sister?
His sister, yes.
Okay, and so why can't you like stay with one of them?
I don't get along with my in-laws. They don't like the fact that I'm 10 years younger than him. So.
I mean, but y'all got what? 4 or 5 kids? 4 kids?
4 kids.
At this point? Like,
and they still don't respect
the done is done, you know?
Yeah, they still don't respect it. They think he should be with somebody older. They think I should be with somebody younger, but I don't like younger people.
Well, yeah, I don't think most ladies should be with younger guys. So that's, to me,
I've
like...
always been, if I'm going to be with somebody, it's got to be somebody that's older, somebody that can support me and my children, and somebody that got respect for us. If you can't respect my children, I don't care. You can give me as much respect all you want, but if you can't respect my kids, then that's not...
Well, and I guess that's the overall point, right? So I'm trying to say, like, okay, these are his kids too, right? So this is their blood relative. And they're okay with them being out here versus, you know, you giving you a roof and, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of support type deal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, and so what are we doing at this point to try to get ourselves out of this position? I guess you basically just said, like, you know, your guy's coming down here and you guys are going to try to get stabilized basically when he gets down here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else that you're doing or?
No. Just trying to keep my head up and be strong for my kids and try to show them something different in life than depending on other people or going through the situation that they see me going through. Definitely my oldest daughter. I don't want her to think that it's okay to be with somebody and the family don't like you and then you have to be in the situation that I'm in. So.
When's the last time you saw them?
I have seen my oldest daughter last week. I seen both my 2 oldest daughters last week. My 4-year-old, I just seen her, matter of fact, yesterday. So I see them often.
Often enough? Do they live here in Georgia?
They live in Ohio.
Okay, so you mean see them like on the phone type deal, or?
No, they come down.
Come down?
His mother brings them down to see me and stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, miss, we really appreciate you taking the time, answering all of our questions. If anybody out there wanted to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way they could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
I have Facebook, and I do have Cash App.
What's your Facebook?
My Facebook name is Jamaya Elizabeth Love. And my Cash App is Queen Elizabeth.
No, I don't think that's it. Go back, because you had just pulled it up. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, here, I'll do it. All right, Queen Jamaya Diggs. All right.
Thank you.
Well, like I say, we really appreciate you, and we definitely wish you nothing but the best out here, all right?
Thank you.
Make sure you have a good one, sweetie.
You too.
All right. Okay, so we were just talking after the interview, and you were saying that another guy had said that he was going to give you $100 to do an interview. But what happened? You were saying that he
got mad because he was asking me questions about my kids. Before he had asked me questions about my kids, he said he was going to give me $100 to do the interview. In the process of the interview, I had told him I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like it was a scam. He looked at me and told me to hold on 1 minute, and before I knew it, he took off with the $100 and told me that he was going to email me or text me the information. Well, I waited for almost 2 weeks for him to email me or text me, and I still have not heard nothing from the man. The man had took off with the money.
And so you say what happened? You say that he posted
pictures of my kids on YouTube and got a whole bunch of likes and everything, and was supposed to have got in contact with me to give me the $100 that he had said that he was going to give me. He never did give me anything. So he really scammed me.
So did he create? He didn't create like a GoFundMe or nothing like that.
Yes, he did. He created a GoFundMe, and he created some other stuff like some organizations with my kids' first names and their last names. So he really got over on me really bad. So I be very, very, very arrogant on who I talk to and who I do interviews with. So right now I feel comfortable with the interview that I have done.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, well,
I did not feel comfortable.
Well, given that that experience had just happened, like a few weeks back, and it happened here in Atlanta, what was it that made you feel comfortable doing an interview with me?
Your spirit, I read spirits, and the spirit came over me as it wasn't a scam, that it was actually something to help me with my 2 children with. So I felt like I needed to go ahead and tell my story.
I tell you what, man. That's so crazy, because I just saw something about him, man, that and you know, I like the young guy's work ethic, man, but I'm starting to hear a few things about him doing stuff like this and kind of being, you know, scammy or whatever, basically creating GoFundMes and things like that, and then not remanding the money to the people that he supposedly created it for. So that sucks. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I'm glad that your spirit was able to discern my spirit.
Thank you.
And so I really do, like I said, I wish you guys nothing but the best out here, okay?
All right, thank you.
Make sure you have a good one, sweetie.
You too. Come on.